Sunday night, Patrick Mahomes and the reigning champion Chiefs head to Atlanta as Kirk Cousins and the Falcons look to go back-to-back in primetime. Sunday, 7 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. What's on Tap is brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL, as we take a look at the matchups with the highest point totals going into the weekend. Sundays are easy to enjoy when they are full of football and the fridge is filled with beer. Here's the games, guys. We're locking in on them. We're going to start with the Lions, who are favored by 3 points against a tough Cardinals team that's playing at home. Matthew, the total in this one is 51.5 points. Should be a shootout. Does that mean better days ahead for Sam LaPorta after a very slow start to the season?
I hope so. I mean, nowhere to go but up, right? So through 2 games, he's the tight end 17 in points per game. He's had an under 10% target share in the season. And the Lions are basically 28th in red zone efficiency so far this year. They were 3rd last year. So, I mean, I think that's the biggest issue, is they've just struggled so far in the red zone. You have to figure better days are ahead. Again, Lions tied for the highest implied team total this week. LaPorta's got to be a part of this offense. I think one of the challenges here is that, the emergence of Jameson Williams. It's a team that wants to be run heavy, and so they've got Gibbs fully up to speed, plus Montgomery. Of course, you always got Amon-Ra St. Brown in the mix. So there's just there's more mouths to feed for the Lions offense than there were at various points last year when Gibbs was slowly getting up to speed, then Montgomery missed some time, Williams wasn't really a thing. Having said all that, we know that Sam LaPorta is very talented, and what else are you going to do? It's not like,
No,
Matthew,
true.
I got LaPorta or I got Chigakonkwo. I mean, the odds that you have LaPorta and maybe Brock Bowers, there's just not any other options out there. Like, if you drafted Sam LaPorta, you drafted him early, and you hopefully, rightfully, blew off the position the rest of the draft, because you're like, that's why you draft a Sam LaPorta early, so you don't have to worry about it and play tight end roulette. So I think you're just rolling him out there again. I have tight end 5. I'm just sort of banking on him and believing in him, believing in the talent. And I don't. If he's a touchdown dependent tight end now, all of a sudden, like everyone else, who's got a better shot at scoring a touchdown than him or the guy he's playing against Trey McBride? They're just got to sort of roll it out there and hope for the best.
There's no action to take.
No.
To your point, you just have to kind of deal with
Hope for
it.
the
But
best.
I think there are lots of reasons to feel worse. The sub 10% target share is insane.
Yeah.
The fact that has happened to LaPorta. And also, Jared Goff just looks terrible. I don't know what's happened to Jared Goff.
Is this a get-right game for Jared Goff?
I mean, maybe. It should
How
be get
could we
right.
say that,
The
right?
Bucs secondary isn't super imposing. This Rams secondary isn't great. Look, Kyler Murray had a perfect passer rating against the Rams. It's perfect. They're sending the jersey to Canton.
Yes.
And Jared Goff didn't do anything against them.
Get off my lawn, you kid's face. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yes.
I'm
Take
worried
off
about-
that jacket.
Yeah, worried about Jared Goff, worried about you, worried about this. Not worried about the Detroit offense. Detroit offense is going to be fine, but it's just the fact that Goff's not playing well. Offensive line is a bit older, a bit worse. LaPorta's dealing with now Jameson Williams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown's still getting 1 million targets. It's just not a lot there anymore.
I said this before, and the line, it opened at 2.5, and now it's up to 3. Cardinals are getting 3 at
like the
home.
Cards.
I
Give me the
like the
Cards.
give me the Cards.
Yeah.
Cards
I
win.
think there's a legit chance the Cards win this outright, but the Cards getting 3 at home after destroying a Rams team that went to the brink with the Lions.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong on this one. Maybe the Lions do get it all together and they blow them out because it's the
happen,
NFL
sure.
and stuff happens all the time. But I like the Cards getting 3.
I like that you're now couching your bets after what the Patriots did last
do.
night.
I have to.
Anything can happen.
I mean,
It's the
anything good
NFL.
happens. Football.
It's
Football.
Stop
What are
the
you
draft.
Any given Sunday,
I was just like,
6 inches in front of his face.
no. I mean, it was so brutal. And my wife, God bless my wife, I love her so much. But she's not a big sports bettor. So we're watching the game last night together, and she's just like, so what do you need? I said, I need the Patriots by 6. You know what I mean? And she's like, oh, and she goes, so wait. I said, whatever the Patriots score is, you have to add 6 to it. She goes, well, they don't have any score. I'm like, I know.
Perfect response. 10
I know.
out of 10.
I know, honey. So you add 6 to 0.
Right.
And then I'm like, what? And I'm like, well, how about? Didn't you say you had a teaser bet? I'm like, yeah, I took a teaser, plus 12, and but even with 12 points, they're not. I know, honey. I know.
It's not going well.
It's not going well.
Should have taken him plus 30. This is the obvious decision.
Cover your bases.
It's awful.
Minus 20,000.
It was brutal.
Our next game, guys, Eagles traveling to play
Jacoby
at the
Brissett on the
Saints.
road on a short week. What could have gone
what
wrong?
could go wrong? Everything's
What
fine.
could
No
possibly
offensive
go
line.
wrong?
Eagles at Saints. Saints are favored by 3 points. They've been a powerhouse through the first 2 weeks of the season. The over-under is at 49.5, Jay. And while their offense has exploded under Clint Kubiak, not much going for Chris Olave. Is this buy low time on Olave?
The answer is yes, but I'm keen for your thoughts on this, Connor, because against Dallas, New Orleans, here's the unique thing about them, is that they only had 3 pure drop-back plays. Everything outside of those 3 plays was a run, was play action, or a screen. So they're not just letting Derek Carr just drop back and just have the pressure come, and the pass pro is a bit suspect for the offensive line. Do you think that type of offense is good for Chris Olave or bad?
It's good if they push the ball down the field to him, but the problem is the best vertical guy on this team, one of the best vertical guys in the NFC, is Rashid Shaheed. There's no way around it, right? Like, that's what he does. So I need to see more of those downfield opportunities for Olave, and then that's good. Until he doesn't have those, it's going to limit him compared to expectations. I don't want to write off Chris Olave.
So my guy, Ian Hartitz over at FantasyLife.com, every week does this thing called the Sheesh Report, which is basically all the touchdowns that get called back due to penalty, guys tackled the 1-yard line, near misses, wide open, all these just basically touchdowns that should have happened, but for whatever reason did not. And Chris Olave was tackled at the 1-yard line last week. If he gets into the end zone, if he falls, 6 to 8 inches further, again, measurement's not my thing, but like if he falls forward and that's a touchdown, I think the narrative on Chris Olave is a little bit different. Again, they were blowing out the Panthers in week 1. I'm betting on talent. I'm also excited about the fact of these 2 facts. To your point, Derek Carr leads the NFL in deep ball rate. They are chucking it deep quite a bit. And 50% of Olave's targets so far have come on deep passes. Now, they need to connect on a few more of these, but as Rashid Shaheed becomes a full-time player and is getting more and more looks, other teams' defenses are going to have to respect him. And so I think that's going to open up some stuff for Olave. He's too talented. This offense is rolling too hot. I'm not panicking just yet. He's my wide receiver 10. I'm sticking with him. Give me Chris Olave.
Our last game, guys, the Ravens favored by a point traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. The over-under is at 48. I mean, Matthew, this is kind of a simple one. Can you start any Cowboys player right now besides Dak and CeeDee Lamb?
It depends on how desperate you are. I mean, you see it right there. I have Rico Dowdle at running back 34. So he's like a very low-end flex. Again, depends on who else is available in your league. If you're banged up so bad at running back, it's worth noting that Dowdle does lead the Cowboys' backfield in yards per carry and target share. Ravens do have a good run defense so far. Their number 1 rush defense in the NFL so far this season. But if you're desperate, Dowdle, and obviously if Jacob Ferguson, we'll see how the practice plays out. But if Ferguson is active for this game, I'm absolutely starting him. No, only one team in the NFL has allowed more yards to tight ends through 2 weeks than the Baltimore Ravens. Again, Bowers had a big game against them last week as well. And given the state of the position, yes, I do think you can start Ferguson if he's healthy.
Okay, so even with the injury concerns, you would still start Ferguson over like the guys potentially available on the waiver wire, like Colby Parkinson, that type of guy. You'd prefer to roll the dice with Ferguson.
Yeah, I'm a tight end 8. I do. If he's out there, he's going to be, it's a narrow target tree, right? I mean, you've got, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert. Yes, I would, basing on his talent, Dak's talent, the fact that they're going to probably have to throw because we don't think they're going to be able to run very successfully against Baltimore. Schoonamaker, by the way, 6 catches last week with Ferguson out.
Yep.
Only ran 15 routes, but that might be a desperation play.
Okay.
I do like Parkinson though. If you're looking for a streamer, that's a good name.
Yep. Well, I have that very conundrum for Slap Them Like a Grape in the League of Arseholes, so I will be. I am with you, Matthew. I will start Jake Ferguson. Thank you for the free advice.
You're very welcome. Now, what you have to think about is, did I just purposely screw my audience to make sure you lose once again in our League of Assholes?
Well, I'm playing Damien, so it's a revenge game against Damien for you.
That's a good point.
You kind of can't lose here, and you kind of can't win.
I know, that's exactly right. I don't know who I'm rooting for there.
That'll do it for What's on Tap, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. We're taking one more break. When we're back, it's time for last call. We got pickup lines for Matthew. Jay and I's best bets for the weekend right after this.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.